do stay if you want, because it'd be nice to socialise at the end. All right, great. So welcome all. I shall note down who you are when you say it, so that we've got that complete for the minutes. So should we just have a whiz round? Would you mind starting?
Yeah.
Please say who you are.
Hi everyone. Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm the counsellor for West Warren Post Corner, which is somewhere there, and the chair of the Equalities, Community Safety and Human Rights Committee, and going forward the cabinet member for Communities, Equality and Human Rights.
Thank you for coming. I think we are hoping to have Bella, aren't we?
She's unwell, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. The leader of the council was going to come, but she's unwell, unfortunately. Never mind. All right, okay. I'm Rick Child. I'm a trustee, and I suppose the chair of trustees really for Brighton Hove Faith in Action. My membership organisation is Vita Church, which is a church in Brighton. Past you, Stuart.
I'm Stuart Diamond. I'm the CEO of an organisation called Mitzvah Day. I belong to the Jewish community, currently a member of Brighton Hove Hebrew congregation.
Okay, we'll see you shortly then, yeah?
Yeah, sorry.
Short and sweet.
Sure.
That's
My name's
fine.
Steve Walker. I'm a member of the staff team at Holland Road Baptist Church.
Oh, hey everyone, my name is Magda. I'm working as an events membership and projects coordinator for the Community Works.
I'm Esma Throw, and I'm from the Muslim community. I'm a trustee of the Brighton Mosque and Islamic Center in Dyke Road. I'm also trustee of Racial Harassment Forum.
I'm Tim Jones. I'm a worker for Brighton Hove Faith in Action.
I'm Rabbi Andrew from Brighton and Hove Reform Synagogue.
I'm Alan Green, Church of England vicar at Lawrence Falmer and also a chaplain at Sussex University.
I'm James Croft. I am the University Chaplain and Lead Faith Advisor at the University of Sussex.
I'm Susan Conway. I'm the Chairman of Brighton and Hove Hebrew Congregation and also their representative on the Board of Deputies.
I'm Sabri Ben Amer. I'm the Vice Chair of the Brighton and Hove Muslim Forum. Apologies for us, and that was Imam Uthman. He's in his way. He is coming. He's running a bit late, so just to, apologies for his delay. And he'll be here.
If he comes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Hi, I'm Michael Grady, Treasurer for the Older People's Council, Brighton and Hove.
I'm Claire Ashenden. I represent St Joseph's Catholic Church, East Brighton Parish. I'm also Gavin Ashenden's sister.
I was wondering if there was a relationship.
Yeah, so that's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now you have to say what that link is for all of us people.
Gavin
in the dark.
was the chaplain at the University of Sussex, my predecessor but one.
And a long time after me became Catholic.
Yes.
He converted, so he used to be the Anglican chaplain. Yeah.
Steve, you're just in time to introduce yourself, having missed everybody else.
Oh, wow.
Perfect timing.
I'm Steve Horn, pastor at Emmanuel Church, Brighton. And I'm a trustee as well. And I'm fit.
So many of us are. And we'll be starting his exercise regime in the morning. All right, we had a few apologies, which the ones I've got off the top of my head. Emma Hamrice from St John the Baptist Church. Phil Davis from both St Mary's Kemp Town, but he also represents the MCC Kemp Town. Father John Habib from Coptic Orthodox Church is hopeful he could be here, but it's clashing with a very busy period for the calendar of worship things. Those are the ones that came off the top of my head, so I can list out the others later. Excellent. Right, thank you so much everyone for coming. I'm going to turn to Tim now to give us a report on the year. And obviously if you have questions, don't feel it's too super formal.
Great.
Tim himself and others I'm sure will try and answer. Thanks, Tim.
Yes, just our agenda for this afternoon. We're going to hear from speakers from the Jewish and Muslim communities on a peace in faith perspective. I'm going to do a little presentation right now about the projects that we've been running over the last year, and then it'll be the closed session that Rick's already referred to do the business of voting in new trustees. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, you might recognise the room actually. we do use other rooms occasionally. But our office is based in here, and we're very much in the community of community base here, which gives us access to some great neighbours in the third sector, lots of other organisations going on. So some exciting things that we've been doing this year: street support, which is our directory of all of the services for those who are homeless or at risk of homelessness, was birthed out of the Homelessness Faith Partnership several years ago. And we've been running that in an ongoing way, doing events alongside Just Life, who are another agency in the city working with frontline workers in homelessness provision. We just recently ran a homelessness conference day with them over at the Clarendon Centre in New England Street, looking at the whole issue of housing provision in the city and having all of the agencies involved in the room. So that's co-run Street Support and Just Life. The platform itself continues to provide the definitive directory of all support services in the city, and we're looking to renew the Homelessness Faith Partnership as well. So I'll be sending out more information about this, but for all congregations who are interested in outworking their ministries to the poor and their ministries to the homeless, we encourage people to just show expressions of interest in being involved in that steering group there as we shape up street support for the new season. One of the things that we did as a sort of offshoot from street support is actually we employed a worker to manage the Winter Surge Hostel, which you might not understand, but underneath that name is basically an emergency service for rough sleepers throughout the winter period and beyond, actually. So it's continued on right up until March. We were providing an employee of BHFA as the manager of that place under the street support heading. So there's the advice platform, the service directory, but also genuine expressions of the faith community in Brighton and Hove working within the homeless sector. Outside of homelessness, we've got what we call the NRPF collaborations for people with no recourse to public funds, so asylum seekers and those who are needing help in that area. That's what this picture is here, by the way. So this was a group of leaders from lots of different denominations in the city who came together to hear from this lady who leads Sanctuary on Sea, which is the local chapter of Cities of Sanctuary, about how to instill a culture of welcome within congregations, working towards partnership with the council, our colleagues over there, in providing something which is akin to the Homes for Ukraine, but across the board. Now that's very difficult for the statutory authorities to provide, because the legislation that enables such good work with the Homes for Ukraine scheme prohibits it in lots of other areas. But places of worship can actually, and congregations in places of worship, can actually be a real key to opening up that same level of provision. So we're kind of not begrudging the Homes for Ukraine. We're actually saying, well, that's something of a gold standard there, and something that the local authority want to work towards providing across the board, so that this city is genuinely a city of welcome. Often it gets banded around, but legislation and various other things stand in the way. Faith in action can actually be an avenue for opening up something which would otherwise be closed. So that's a very exciting collaboration that we've been doing there. 12 different congregations represented here, but we'll be doing it as an ongoing thing, actually bringing those who are interested in wanting to work and to expand capacity in that area. We're going to be making more opportunities. Faith Council's been running month on month. That's our opportunity to get together with statutory authorities, with the police, with other services, and to just have an open forum, convey news that needs to be related into congregations and out from congregations to those in statutory authority. And we've been doing a mix of online and in person. My preference is always in person. I love being back in the room with people, but the convenience of online as well. I think having a mix of those two, we've tried to alternate month on month. The Queen's Park Book Project as well, that's what this event was here. We had a local historian, professor of history, come in and speak on what makes Brighton different, what waves of migration have shaped the city. Fascinating talk, really, really worthwhile. And actually, it was a taster project taster event for the wider book project which Queen's Park have been doing on migration. So different people who've migrated from elsewhere and come and made this place their home. There's a compendium of those stories being put together at the moment. So I'm very excited for that book to come out as and when. It's been great to partner on a cultural project as well as ones that are protective of different communities and vulnerable people. Faith in Brighton and Hove is the first of a number of reports that we have scheduled that we're writing. This is with our remit as the guardians of the faith covenant. So there's a covenant between us and the local authority. It was signed several years ago now and is due for a refreshing. But part of our service to the local authority is that we make intelligible the makeup of faith in Brighton and Hove. We make it easy for people from outside those communities to understand what's going on, who are these people, what are they doing, what are their needs, what are their aspirations, how would they like to see the city shaped. So the first one that we published is just a big overview, very easily accessible, 4 pages. That's my limit for reports because they need to be read and they need to be used. I've got a few copies of it over there, just giving a few stats which are publicly available, but making them intelligible and available to other agencies. The next one that we're doing is to look at Judaism in Brighton and Hove, and we're looking to see the different expressions of Judaism and the history of Judaism in the city. And we'll be moving on to do to just expose to communities outside of those houses what's going on inside the house, so that people can really feel a sense of ownership of one another, of their near neighbours. So that's just a taster of some of the projects that we've been doing, and I'm happy to talk to you about any one of those. But I'll hand back to Rick for now.
Okay, great. Anyone got any questions? Please do.
We all represent faith communities, and you're supporting homelessness in these ways. Do our communities make any financial contribution to the homeless situation?
It's a good question.
Very personal question. Yeah, I think.
Well, I know at St Joseph's we used to be part of the shelter project, but we don't do it anymore. I'm sure we would contribute to any other similar sort of work.
Well, thank you very much.
I mean, not that sort of St Joseph's funds, but...
Yeah, no, in all seriousness, this is why the time has kind of come for reforming the Homelessness Faith Partnership. So any of the projects that we do come out of partnerships. They come out of, not partnerships between us and other people, but partnerships between the faith communities themselves. So the original setup of of the Homelessness Faith Partnership included Steve Walker over here, and then some folk from other agencies who had seen actually this is a need, and Rick as well. It was very key to setting up the whole arrangement in the first place. But people move seats and move on, and I think if we're seeing it as a long-term good, we need to refresh the partnership. So that's kind of high on my agenda for the street support, because I think it's a good ongoing concern. And yes, to answer your question, I think that it should. We've been funding it from various pots, but and Rick's been pay tribute to Rick's been super diligent in seeking out those different funding sources. But I think we want to recenter it and have it as a genuine expression of the faith communities here.
So we should contribute financially?
Yes.
Ideally.
Have you asked?
When we set it up, we asked. So again, to echo what Tim was saying, so when we do a faith partnership, it doesn't have to be just faith groups, but we try and cast the net wide. So it'll be faith groups and other people working in the sector who want to work alongside us. So in that particular instance, it was Arch Healthcare as well, because they have basically it's a GP surgery, which is predominantly people who are experiencing homelessness, but we also have the city council as partners and the police, because it's such a big issue. Other things won't necessarily have the bigger players. We went out originally and explained ourselves to the broadest sense, the faith community, and got about 3 or 4 people actually up for giving us some money. So we have had some checks come in. We only actually have 2 partners who stump up money really regularly, 3 actually, to be fair. We've got Holland Road very kindly give us a small donation each month, and one other organisation that isn't here today, and then another couple give some money once a year. So if it's going to be sustainable, keeping street support alive, which is our online directory, and anything that goes beyond that, we need to have more input from the faith community, because there'll be big faith groups who I want to do a project, I want to do this, I want to do that, and we can help broker that if needs be, or they can do their own. We're not trying to control anything, But then there'll be smaller groups, of which there are plenty in this town, which basically like, we're too old, or there's too few in number, and we can either broker people into stuff that's going on. So you will obviously suggest this was part of it was the Church's Night Shelter project,
Yeah.
presumably, yeah. Or they can do what they should do, which is, you know, contribute in some way financially, and that will help. And that's a picture Tim and I want to build. And I think ongoing trustees beyond this meeting, we probably need to have a little sit down and have a plan of it strategically, what we would do. So next year we can put some more sustainable funding in place.
So that's the plan.
Good plan.
That's the plan, not the reality yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet, no,
but it's a good one you asked, so thank you. Yeah.
I was just going to say that the history of street sport was, I think coming out of COVID, we did a consultation with council and frontline workers, and one of the things was post-COVID, there was just a lot of unknownness now about who exists, who doesn't exist anymore. So that was why we did a big survey, and the street sport app was a great vehicle to do that. So that was the first consultation. We did another consultation about 2 years later with a lot of frontline workers and asked what would actually help you. These were mainly the churches that used to be involved in that shelter consultation, and that was generally supporting the frontline workers in their work. So we did a lot of helping with emergency accommodation, hospitality packs. But again, that whole raft has changed again. I think, again, in consultation with the council, I think we are looking at another sense of what is needed, what is necessary, because I think probably street sport is still going to be on the agenda of everyone knowing where the services are, and we've got a great tool to do that. But actually, how does the faith communities support third sector of the council to meet the needs, complex needs, is probably due another consultation out of that, and you can go and say, this is what would make a massive difference, and then a faith community going, we'd love to give to that, because that's going to make a difference, rather than just doing.
I think where we're seeing a shift in its usage is towards preventative use as well. So I think initially the thought was, you know, what's good for someone who's fallen into street homelessness, what they need in their hand right now. Increasingly, we're seeing it used in food banks and other places like that, where people are being signposted to the right support that's preventing them from being made homeless. And obviously, the statutory authorities are very interested in that being the case, because you're saving lots of money and lots of heartache if you're preventing people from falling into the situation in the first place.
Yeah. Anyone else like to ask a question? Is that him on Okay, I'll take that as a no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim, that's great. Excellent. Right. Fantastic, he's here. Great. So we're going to go into the second part of our meeting, which is we're going to hear from both Imam Uthman, who Sabri's gone to collect, and Rabbi Andrea.
Shall I start now? I prefer to sit here if it is a problem.
Yeah. Do you want to wait till Imam Uthman's here? So
yes, that's right.
Each other can hear.
I just don't feel comfortable standing up.
Of course, yeah. No one has to. It's not Parliament. It's not a debate. All right, let's give it a moment. Let's talk about ourselves. We'll start in until 3 minutes.
Sure. Can you send me your address, please? Can you write down your... I'm okay, yeah.
Great, okay. Do you mind if I record it?
No problem.
I'll place it over there so that it's
Yeah.
definitely good.
Maybe I could send